Want to talk? So let's talk. Here. Talk. You want to talk? You gotta talk. You need to talk. News talk.
I talk, you talk to Solomon. I talk, you talk to Solomon. Yeah, let's talk to Solomon. Talk to Solomon.
You gotta talk. You want to talk.
Welcome, my friends, to Talk to Solomon. That's me, Stan Solomon. I'm the host.
I am Chief Steve Davis, the in-studio co-host.
And our guest of honor, Major General Jerry Curry, U.S. Army retired. General, good evening, sir. I'm not hearing the General. General, are you on mute? Because we can't hear you.
I am here.
Oh,
and
got you now. Good.
you got me?
Yes, General, this is a tough day. It's a serious day.
Yeah.
Because we have seen not the first, but the most significant, the largest, the most impactful terrorist attack under the watch of this current president. In fact, I think, Chief Steve, you have a list of the terrorist attacks that have taken place?
Well, first I'd like to show, I've compiled a list of terrorist attacks against the United States since 9/11. And first of all, this is the list for George Bush, which is 0. Right, and so far, and I'm sure there's more, but I found just in a few minutes since 9/11 under Barack Obama's watch, 7 terrorist attacks against United States citizens, and all of them in this country except for Benghazi, which I also consider a terrorist attack against the United States, but 7 to 0.
All right, now list the 7.
All right, June 2000, Little Rock, Arkansas, an American Muslim opened fire on a United States military recruiting office. He killed Private William Long and injured another soldier. September 2009, New York, there was an attempt to detonate bombs in the New York City subway system by a member of Al-Qaeda. November 2009, Fort Hood, Texas. I can't say the name, but a Muslim,
Colonel Hassan.
Colonel Hassan, a Muslim in the United States Army, conducted a mass shooting at Fort Hood. He killed 13, wounded 30 other soldiers. December 2009, Detroit, Michigan, Nigerian, blah, 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 I can't say it again, attempts to detonate an explosive device on an aircraft. That was the underwear bomber. May 2010, New York City, New York, Times Square was evacuated after the discovery of a car bomb. September 11, 2012, the attack on Benghazi. And April 15th, yesterday, the Boston Marathon bombing. All under Barack Obama's watch.
Now, to say Barack Obama has not done a good job is not debatable, but we'll go past that. General, let me ask you this. In your many years, starting from the bottom and working way to the very top in United States military operations, if you had intel that said a certain enemy did certain things in a certain way at certain times when they were beginning to attack, if those things were done in a certain way at certain times, would you presume they're getting ready to attack?
Certainly.
All right, I rest my case. I've already won. Just call me Perry Mason. The fact is, we had 5 at least, maybe as many as 7, but 5 at least bombs, 2 of which went off. The first bomb was not the most powerful bomb. It was designed to get people to run in a certain direction. The second bomb is in the direction they would have run. That was the one that killed 2, tore the limbs off of 30 and injured a total of 150 plus. The other 3 bombs that did not detonate were along that line where the people literally would have been going from disastrous environment to disastrous environment, and we would have had maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 people hurt, maimed, and or killed. Now, this process, the type of bombs, the type of staging, the type of timing, the type of targets, are they or are they not time and time again indicative of the methodology of Muslim extremists, particularly in Iraq and Afghanistan?
Oh, sure. Yeah, obviously they are. And you can make some pretty good predictions based on past performance.
So, having said that, am I a racist, homophobe, bigot, xenophobe, malcontent, right-wing nut because I'm adding 1 and 1 and coming up with 2?
Not yet. You're a mathematician.
Oh, okay. Well, that's close to the other. Because you hear everyone on the left, may they all rest in pieces, saying that anyone that says anything about any Muslims or any Muslim extremist or Al-Qaeda is all those bad things, but they can say most domestic terrorists are conservatives.
You know, I have been around. I have been around a long time. Been through an awful lot. The Officers Club in Frankfurt, where I was the deputy corps commander, was blown up with my daughter in it. By the way,
did she survive?
So, yes.
Oh,
yes,
thank
she
God.
did. So I have sort of some personal interests. The thing you got to do with these things is you go straight down the line. You don't get detoured by such things as waterboarding or any of that sort of stuff. You go straight down the line. You go straight toward the solution of the problem, and you figure out where it is. And if you can get your hands on somebody who is planning something and you know is trying to execute something, then you move in on them and you take charge of them. And if they don't cooperate, you take them out permanently. That's the way you have to handle these. There is no playing around with these guys. There's no playing around with this kind of a condition. You got to go for it, and you got to be serious about it. And when you start, you got to be willing to finish. And I was always willing to finish.
Now, many people have criticized President Obama and his hierarchy for using drones to take out quote-unquote imminent terrorists. Now, one could argue with this definition because I probably would fall in that definition myself. But the fact is, what they were doing was exactly what you're talking about. You find out who's saying to do these things, you find out where they are, and you take them out. And then they don't do those things. And others may or may not be discouraged from doing them, but based on what happened yesterday, not enough of them are discouraged. Now, I'm all for, to me, if we were to take all of the drug lords in Mexico, in Colombia, and wherever else they might be, we know where they are. They're not hard to find. We know where their haciendas or villas or mansions or armed camps are. The same in Cambodia or wherever. And wherever they are in the world, just take them all out. And just say, hey, if you think you're going to profit from doing these kind of things, you're not. We're going to find you. We're going to just kill you. And by the way, if everyone around you dies, that's the price they pay for being around you, whoever they might be, including your family, including your friends, including your whatever, spiritual advisor. Now, I could go for that. I think that if you've demonstrated you're willing to do what these people did in Boston, that you have no rights to continue to breathe. And the sooner you stop breathing, the better it would be. And I say that because there's a guy by the name of Abu Musab al-Suri. He's an Al-Qaeda propagandist, and guess what he's been promoting? Going to sporting events and doing exactly what was done. That, again, this is not complicated. Everyone's saying you can't accuse. Well, I'm not accusing. I'm just telling you 1 and 1 is 2. And for some reason in this country, we're not supposed to say 1 and 1 is 2. Is it possible that a nun having a bad day and her habit wouldn't iron correctly decided to fill her pressure cooker with ball bearings and stuck it in a trash can? It's possible. I just don't think it's the right answer.
Well, it's not the right answer. But all of the stuff that you've just talked about that leads up to this, at some point in time, you do have to take them out. If I were to criticize and critique President Obama's drone policy, it's that he's not used them enough. And he ought to figure out a way to use them more.
Chief?
Well, as long as he uses them on them and not us, I'm all for that. But I also want to make a point that we could fall into the trap, I think a lot of us do, of thinking that the Muslim world is like us, and they're not at all. When I was in the FBI Academy, there were 2 students there. One was from Jordan, one was from the United Arab Emirates, and they were extremely different from us. They didn't like us at all. And one thing was they never took a bath, which was very offensive. And actually one of them I tried to have a talk with and told him how offensive his body odor was, and he should take a bath because everyone else was laughing at him and being avoiding him and all that. I was trying to really be nice. But what happened to me was I became an instant enemy of that person. And I mean, I'm talking strong, you know, so just in the school environment, I could tell right away that there was no way that we had any type of relationship whatsoever. So if we think we can talk to them like they're us or reason with them like they're us, it's not true. We need to have more definite means that's going to keep Americans safe, which probably just means kill them when we find them.
By the way, I do want to give you some insight here, Chief, and Major General Curry, I'm sure that you know this, but these guys like to date camels, and their body odor makes them more likely to be successful in their amorous advances.
And I feel sorry for the camels.
Okay. Any comment there, General?
No, not a one.
Well, it's true, though. They never take a bath, ever. The men never bathe themselves. It's a religious practice, and it's awful. I'm just dramatizing that they are different than us. We can't expect them to think like us.
Well, Chief, you have touched on something that's very important, and that is that they aren't like us. They aren't going to be like us, and I wouldn't waste 15 seconds trying to talk them into being like us or trying to persuade them that they should do this or do that. They're not going to do it. They don't care. It's not in their lifestyle. That's our problem, not their problem. If there's one of them and 100 of us, he feels that the 100 are out of step with him.
By the way, there was a head of a Muslim extremist group in Jordan saying that American blood is not more precious than Muslim blood. Now, that's an interesting comment. God makes every human being whatever they end up being or whatever they start off being. And anyone that believes that God makes whites or blacks or browns or yellows or reds differently is wrong. We're all made the same. We all have the same base components, and we all have the same likeness of God in the souls that he puts in every human being. Having said that, Muslim devotees, Muslim followers are not in a religion. They're in a total, comprehensive way of living their lives and or giving their lives. And in that respect, they are not like Christians, but they're not like Buddhists. They're not like Hindus. They're not like any other religion on the face of the earth that I know of, certainly no major religion. Would you agree with that, General?
Yeah, they aren't. They are totally different. But Islam is not a religion. Islam is a lifestyle. It includes the way you go to the government. It includes the way you run the country, for example. But a religion, it's called a religion, but it really is not.
Let's go further. Many people don't understand, in my humble opinion, many people in this country, much less other countries, the major difference between the United States of America and how it was put together and every other country, including England and Canada, much less, Afghanistan and Iraq, were done from the government down and not from the people up. We are the only country that acknowledges that the people are the sovereigns and government is the servant. Every other country on the face of the earth is different. Even Israel is different, and it's a country that I like and admire for many reasons. England is different, and it's a country I like and admire for many reasons. Canada is different. People do not understand, and that is why we are at 300 million people, give or take 20, 30 million illegals, the minority. We're the 4% of the world's population The other 95, 96% is different. They don't believe that people are more important than the government or the rulers. Is that not correct, General?
That is correct. Absolutely. That's exactly the way it is. And that is the difference between the United States. We're an unusual country. Our forefathers understood how unusual we are and what an unusual thing they were doing in bringing this country into being. And so you can play with it if you want to, but the truth is the America is different. And that's why we have acted differently than all other countries on the face of the earth.
You know, we look back at the history of this country, even the recent history. We go into a country, whether it's Iraq or Japan after the war, or Germany after the war, or whatever, the Philippines. Any country we've gone into, we were in a position to, quote unquote, own that country, subserviate the people of that country, and do like empires have done throughout the history of the human race. We are the only superpower that has not done that. Is that not right?
That's not right. Yeah, that is right. And you recall it was several years ago that Colin Powell, General Colin Powell, was in Europe, and the Europeans were there, and they were having this big meeting, and they were beating up on the United States. And they got to the point where they were talking about the United States having all these opportunities at the end of winning these successful wars, of taking over countries, taking over their riches, taking over whatever it is we wanted from them, just taking, because it was ours. We owned it, we fought for it, we died for it, and we have been successfully conducting the war for whatever that was. And he told them, he said, the United States of America has never asked for anything from any country in the world. And he said, the only thing that we ask is enough room to bury our dead.
And the fact is exactly that. Look at what Russia did after World War II compared with what the United States did after World War II. You know, the Arab countries were nomadic peoples who had very little in the way of riches or power other than within their own, you know, fiefdom, in their own environment. We developed, we industrialized, and then we handed to the Arab world riches beyond the imagination of any country in the history of the world.
Yep.
And no one wants to acknowledge that. It just, well, let's get back to what happened in Boston. I think we should put a bounty on any member of Al-Qaeda, any member of Hamas, any member of Hezbollah, any member of any radical Muslim group, and give people a substantial reward if they bring back their head. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, you can't. You can't in our culture and country. You can't bring back their head, but you can bring back the body, and that is very reasonable.
Chief, is that legal?
Sure, anything's legal as long as you make it a law. So let's just make it a law. Sounds good to me.
Now you know why he did so well in law enforcement. All right. After 9/11, a bigger event in many ways, but not a bigger event. People going to work, these huge buildings being brought down, planes being hijacked. Yes, that was a more coordinated, more heinous in many ways. But the thought that if this terrorist act, this Muslim terrorist act, had rolled out as planned, in my humble opinion, we would have had 5 to 7 explosions. We would have had several thousand casualties, and we would have had hundreds dead. That's huge. And that's what they attempted to do. General?
Well, that is what they attempted to do. Our our job, I think, as we run this country, is to do whatever it takes to keep our citizens safe. And that means that we're going to have to do an awful lot of hard work, an awful lot of investigative work. We have to be on our toes all the time. And that's the requirement. We don't have any options. You have to do that. You're going to have to do that. The Department of Homeland Security hasn't figured that out yet. But that's the sort of thing that we're going to be involved in. And we're going to have to, for example, right now, the President of the United States has decided to give special dispensation to Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabians traveling into the United States and out now don't have to go through all the things other Arab countries go through. He's out of his mind. It appears, we don't know yet, but it appears as though the guy who did this blowing up in Boston may well be a Saudi. We know all of the folks that did the 9/11 business were Saudis. And we shouldn't be giving them, we should treat them like everybody else, or we should even be tougher on them, because we know what they teach in their churches.
Yeah, their madrasas and their mosque. The Wahhabi radical Islamic system was born in and headquartered in and is paid for by the Saudis. In fact, all these grand mosques you see in America, they're very beautiful, very elaborate, very large. All of those are paid for by the Saudis. They don't take up donations and build them themselves like we do churches in this country. Those are all built by the government of Saudi Arabia. Now you have to wonder why.
Well, we all know that the idea of the Muslim faith is that all people in the world will become Muslims, and that's what he's using. That the Saudis are using these mosques as a teaching vehicle. It's like going to graduate school, and the guys who go and give the sermons, their sermons are about how to go about killing people.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about, Christians want everyone to learn about Christ. That's fine. Jews don't proselytize. That's not their particular faith. Buddhists do. The bottom line is that with Muslims, it is either convert or we'll kill you. That little add-on is what separates them from human beings. We'll be right back. Hey, my name is Stan Solomon, and if I have something to say, I'll say it. And I'll only tell you the truth because I'm a Republican, not a Democrat. Democrats always lie. Republicans only lie half the time. I don't lie at all. This is the Fuel Mule. It's an extraordinary product that was developed by a friend of mine, an engineer, and it increases the fuel mileage on your vehicle. If you have a combustion engine, this will increase your mileage by 10 to 20%. It bolts around your fuel line. You can install it yourself or have your mechanic do it. It is an extraordinary item, and it flat works. I've been using it for more than 10 years. It's increased my mileage on every vehicle I put it on, and by the way, it will last forever. You can get rid of your vehicle, just take it off and put on the next one. Go to cpnlive.com. You'll have more information there. You can order it right there. We absolutely guarantee you'll be satisfied. The Fuel Mule. It's a way to kick down your cost of fuel and kick up your mileage. Don't you love the name? I thought of it. The Fuel Mule. Do you like being healthy? I do. In fact, this product, which I've been taking for years now, is absolutely the answer. Now, you may not believe it, but I'm actually 21, plus tax, of course. This product has 146 different healthful nutrients in it, and it's liquid, so it's bioavailable. It tastes great, and it's sugar-free. 1 ounce of Sonic Life each day will help you to maintain and enhance your health. It's a kind of a gift, well, that you'll thank your mom for, your husband for, your wife for, your kids for, whoever you give it to, they're going to say thank you. And you are going to enjoy the benefits of having all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the nutrients your body needs in one very reasonably priced product. Just go to cpnlive.com and everything's right there. You'll be able to read all the ingredients. The price is right there, a flat price delivered to your door anywhere in the United States of America. Sonic Life is a gift, a great gift. Give it to yourself. I do. Let me ask you a question. Do you like being sick? I have in my hand an incredible product. It's called TR10 supercolloidal silver. TR10 stands for a trace to the negative 10th power. The particles in this silver product are 6 to 8 angstroms, 6 to 8 10 billionths of a meter. Now listen to me. Silver has been the magic bullet for all of human existence. The Egyptians used silver instruments. We use silverware. They put silver in your teeth because nothing can grow on silver. Silver will kill anything but liberalism. I'm working on that. This product, you go to cpnlive.com, buy 1 quart of this product. It will last you for a very long time. Anytime you feel like you've been exposed to something bad, take some of this product, spray it in your mouth, or take a little bit and gargle it, swallow it. It will kill any pathogen. The average antibiotic kills 10 to 20 different pathogens. This product will kill 700 plus. Do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, do your doctor a favor. He's tired of seeing you. Get supercolloidal silver. Go to cpnlive.com, order the product. It's $29.95 plus shipping. I think it's $39.95 delivered any place in America right to your door. It's worth 10 times that. Check it out. If you're not 100% happy, just return it and we'll give you your money back. I like to eat. Do you like to eat? We all do. And usually we run to the grocery store, we run to the convenience store, or we have something in the fridge. But power's been out in parts of this country in the last few weeks. We don't know what's going to come down the pike economically. Smart people are putting in food. Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves is a line of foods that you can put away that will last for a very long time. You know, they say eat what you store and store what you eat. This is great tasting stuff, healthy for you, a full line. You go to our website, cpnlive.com, and click on the button for Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves and see all the different things we have. This is good tasting food. It's reasonably priced. It will last. And it's worth its weight in gold if a problem arises. I know you don't think there's going to be anything that goes wrong. Actually, you do. This is smart. This is smart insurance. This is smart preparation. This is smart thinking. You have kids, you have a spouse, you have parents, you have dependents, you have an appetite. All those things can be addressed by a frugal but smart investment in Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves. Try them out. You will be tickled to death with the taste of them. You know what? In many cases, people start to eat this and they think, heck, this tastes better and costs less than what you're going to the grocery store to buy. cpnlive.com, check it out.